Hey everybody, my name is Albert Corey, and back for another edition of the Profit Activators, where we show you people and friends that will take your business to your next level. By the way, my name is Albert Corey. For almost 40 years, I've assisted clients, helping them saving over $60 million and 25,000 of it. So today I got an awesome friend. We started on the national speaking stage together way back when. Is Miss Michelle.
Hey guys.
Okay. Where when we started, we were just nobodies talking on the stages. Now she's an international bestseller, has a nonprofit, and we're going to talk about what legacy is, but she's got a global nonprofit. How's that from a kid from Idaho to girls and changing the world in Guyana? That to me, you give somebody props. So now let me introduce my good friend and buddy, Miss Michelle Dewsbury. Yay! Hey, Michelle, tell us about you a little bit.
A little bit. I know we don't have very much time. I was born in a small town in North Idaho. My parents were my biggest cheerleaders growing up. I moved around my whole life. My daddy was military, and I knew at a very early age I wanted something more. And that something more, when I was about 19 years old, was to pursue an acting career. So I moved my happy little butt from North Idaho all the way down to Hollywood, California to be a movie star. And lo and behold, I ended up encountering a man who pursued me, and we began dating early on in 2012. And shortly into that relationship was the first sign of physical violence. And I never grew up with violence of any kind in my house. Never saw my daddy even yell at my mom or vice versa. So I didn't really understand what I was experiencing. And when I had finally escaped that relationship, I began to write, began to document things that I had gone through. And that's when I knew that my story was too big not to share with the world, that I needed to speak up because there are so many who don't. And I ended up writing and performing a 65-minute solo play about my experience in 2016. 2017, I founded Unsilenced Voices, a global nonprofit, like Albert said, that helps survivors of domestic violence, sexual abuse, and human trafficking worldwide. Currently, we're in 4 countries: Ghana, Sierra Leone, Rwanda, and the USA. And we are desperately looking for donors and supporters and people who want to get on this mission. And I've been speaking on stages worldwide about how to build a lasting legacy, why your story matters, and why it's important to use philanthropy to encourage and impact the world. So there I am in a brief little nutshell, Albert.
And just to think, we all started at the same stage, traveling all the little small business expos. Very cool. One of the things I know when I heard you talk about, and when we were in Viva Las Vegas, not even a few weeks ago, you said this big fancy word called legacy. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't know what legacy is. Tell us what legacy is and why is it important?
Yeah, so oftentimes when people think of legacy, they think of what they're going to leave behind for their children and their family members. Legacy is not just what you leave behind, but it's what you're living now. My good friend Greg Reed actually said, legacy is what you are building so you can live the life that you want to live today. So legacy is building something that can inspire and encourage other people to move past obstacles, move past traumas that they may have experienced, and still live the best life possible from then on out. And also, of course, leaving behind philanthropy, leaving behind a nonprofit organization that does give back even after you're gone.
Wow. So that's pretty cool to go from Idaho. I have a crazy question I always wanted to ask you. There's 350 countries in the world. Mm-hmm. How did you pick of all the countries? Now, I always want to ask you this. And listen, God bless you. I'm not picking on, I'm saying, but 350 countries in the world. How did you end up in Guyana?
In Ghana, yes.
Ghana,
in Ghana,
that to me is always, I always want to ask you that question. And
Yeah.
we've ate and drank a lot in the last 4 years.
Yes. Wow, it's been 4 years, Albert. That's a long time, and those of you watching may be watching this even years from now. So Albert and I will be lifetime friends. But I do get asked that question quite often, and really the only answer that I can give you is that I was called by God, and I really felt God say, "This is where you're starting." I was vice president for a nonprofit organization that worked in Sierra Leone, so West Africa, back in 2017. So I already had contacts there. And I ended up meeting a Ghanaian doctor in California when I was starting Unsilenced Voices. And he said, "Hey, why don't you go to my country? You can stay with my family and they can see how they can support you and we can see how we can impact Ghana together." And I said yes. And I packed my bags and flew over to Ghana. And then the second country, of course, was Sierra Leone, since I had connections there already. And Rwanda, there's two organizations in Rwanda that contacted me back in, I want to say, early 2019, and they honestly were hounding me. So this is the importance of persistency and consistency, excuse me. If you're on top of it and you always follow up with somebody that you want to work with or an organization you want to partner with, eventually there is going to be a yes. So IDA Rwanda called me and messaged me a lot. And finally, at the end of 2019, beginning of 2020, I was able to say yes. And we ended up moving into Rwanda in 2020. And then 2022, we did a 4-city tour in the United States, gifted over $33,000 to 26 survivors in the US that they've been able to use for transportation and relocation. So we did start in West Africa. However, we are looking to expand not just to third world and developing nations, but also first world countries like the US and parts of Europe too.
That's pretty cool. So I'll make it a little lighter because that was heavy. What do you like? I ate too many nuts before I came on. Rule number one, we don't
Well,
even do it.
you shouldn't do that, Albert.
Thank you. But I ever do what I'm told anyways. So what do you like to do? I know we hang out a lot. So what do you like to do when you're not like changing the world?
Well, thanks for asking that question. I think decompressing is very important. Some of my closest friends tell me that I work a little too hard and too long sometimes. But I love to scuba dive. That's one of my favorite things to do. We've been to Mexico together, Albert.
Oh
And
yeah,
yes, I love to
couple of times.
scuba dive. I love going out, and I'm in a dry January right now, but I love drinking wine. So I do like to have good food and a
Dry
lovely
January.
glass of
Uh-oh.
wine.
I won't say nothing about that because I'm sure
No, it's
there's been
okay.
many of places we can't say here. Whoever's over here, we can't mention them here. But yes,
Well, we've
many.
had a lot of fun together for sure, Albert. But I like hanging out with friends, watching good movies. I like movies that make me think.
Okay,
And
what movies? Wait. Let me ask you. I'm not trying to. So, what is your top movie of all time?
oh my gosh. This isn't my top movie, but it's the movie that impacted me so much that I wanted to pursue an acting career early on in my life. And it's the movie called The Hours. Now, that movie has great actresses in it. And Nicole Kidman was one of my favorite actresses. And that's what really pushed me towards pursuing a career in the entertainment industry. Now, my current movie, let's see, A Little Bit of Heaven. So I really love the idea that no matter what you experience, you can still be happy on your deathbed. And that's a funny way of showing how even if you get a terminal illness, you can still be happy in the end. So a little bit of heaven.
Here's a crazy question I thought of. By the way, if you notice, you know me, Miss Michelle. I just no notes, no nothing. Right? Pretty
And
much.
you know what's funny, guys? Albert asked me what questions I wanted to ask, and he's not asking them.
So, why would you say if I wanted to start legacy and why? I guess what would be the first step I would do if I wanted to build a legacy?
Well, first off, you should go to legacycamp360.com. Again, legacycamp legacy360.com and find out information about our upcoming legacy camps that are happening all around the country and also virtually. The first step, though, is I would say passion. You have to be passionate about something. To build a lasting legacy, it is not an easy 1, 2, 3 or an easy quick fix. Building a legacy requires you to be persistent, to make sure that you are on top of your game all the time. And in order to do that, you have to have passion, because we all go through ups and downs. There's always something that life throws in your way, some obstacle or hurdle that you have to overcome. And when you have passion in front of you, when you are passionate about what you do, then you will stay the course.
Very cool. Very cool. I had another question here for you. So we always talk about story. Okay. I guess here's what I'm going to ask you that wasn't on the list here. Why would you say, and there's two questions. Why are events so important then? For you to go to, for these people to go get off their little butts and just show up somewhere. Why is that important?
So Albert and I, and maybe some of you listening, we have a mentor. His name is Bill Walsh, and he always says you have to show up to blow up. Now, really what that means is you have to show up and share your message, share your story per se, in order to impact not only yourself, but the people around you. So sharing your story can create a domino effect of change. So for example, I went through a very abusive relationship. When I had escaped that, I didn't realize that I was going to be talking worldwide about my experiences in abuse. I didn't realize I would be on over 300 different platforms telling people what I had gone through. However, because I shared my story, there has been a domino effect. There are young girls now in Sierra Leone who advocate with our team because they were encouraged to share their stories. People that I've met on hundreds of events, live and virtual, now that are sharing their stories and impacting so many people. And it's something that I don't even see with my eyes, but oftentimes I'm approached by individuals and former clients that say, hey, you've changed my life and thank you for speaking up. So it's important to share your story for your own personal healing, but also for the healing of others.
Very cool. Now we're going to get to the end. The one thing we want to say is, what's one last thing that you want to go tell people that they can start right now to start impacting the world?
So I always end every interview and every podcast with a similar expression, a similar saying. Albert, have you seen the movie Finding Nemo?
Of course.
Of course, right? So there's a fish in the movie called Dory, and Dory is kind of an airhead. And Dory goes around, and sometimes she gets lost, but she always sings to herself, just keep swimming. So no matter what it is that you are going through in life, no matter the circumstances that you have to face, the obstacles that you have to conquer, the trauma you have to get over, just keep swimming. Don't ever give up.
Very cool. Now we're coming again, how they can get a hold of you and your last parting words.
Yeah, no problem. So I have a gift that I can give away. If you text the word UNITE, UNITE, to 26786. Again, text UNITE, UNITE, to 26786. You'll get a complimentary digital download on how you can overcome challenges. And I will get back with you and ask if you need a consultation or have any questions. If you want information about Unsilenced Voices, you can always go to unsilencedvoices.org.
Thank you, everybody. This is another edition of the Profit Activators. We're on 5 channels right now. So if you're watching any of these channels, sharing is caring. If you want an amazing way to take your business to the next level, guess what? Oops. Let me see if I get this working. Okay. Oh my God, my room is horrible. Oh, well, maybe I will go back. Sorry, Michelle. Let me go back. It looks better. I like that view better. There you go. If you want an amazing gift to take your business to the next level, if you're watching this, we're in the middle of tax time. and I'm known as the tax man. So if you want to know some simple ways to start putting in money in your pocket and start a corporation, you can always call, and we're going to put I'll tell you what, as a special thing, let me put my other ticket back on. Oops, let me show here. We're going to give you just go to the number below when you're watching this, and you're going to get a free consultation. That's valued at $250. And I'll guarantee you it's 15 minutes. And anybody knows me, Michelle knows I do talk a lot, and it's going to be more than 15 minutes. And I'll guarantee you, when you're working with our team, you're going to get more than your money's worth out of it. So my name is Albert Corey. With here's the Profit Activators. Like I always say, sharing is caring. And talk to everybody soon. Bye-bye.